Okay, so skipping ahead here a little bit, these two pieces right here were what attached there and there and kind of 90'd over the batteries, and that's what I could put my panels on top of. So y'all have seen this. This is the battery bank below it. I've got to unhook all the jumpers, all of these that are going to the amps. I went and bought a tote that I can sort of just throw all of that into. Once it all goes back in, it's all going to be in one place. I'm not going to have to search for it. It'll just be kind of pulling cables out and seeing what goes where. So first order of business is getting all the cables out from here to where I've only got cables from the fuse blocks back. Take the bus bars off, batteries out, obviously. And then I've got to take this out, and then once I get that out, that's pretty much good as far as what I need to take out back here, because then I can go inside the box, pull the 4 subs, and then once I can do that, I have access to all the screws and lag bolts or whatever that I need to get to, and once I take those out, the entire box will literally just slide out of the back of the truck. Okay, so here's the battery bank that's got to come out. The 8 batteries plus the one that I haven't been using. See, getting pretty empty back here, so I'm going to leave all the wires coming out of the box just because they're siliconed in, and I'll deal with those once the box is out. So nothing with the 4 subs and these batteries. I don't know what I'd do without a hand truck. And here's the state of the box currently. Looks like a mess because I just basically took the subs out and where the braces were connected, kind of fused with some of the paint. See, it ripped it off a little bit, but I'm not worried about any of that. So what I need to do now is actually where all that smeared on caulk is, just to seal it up, because I didn't use any glue in between those pieces. I need to remove those because there's going to be some screws or something under those holding the box in, so I need to get that out. The box used to rest. You can see the accordion boot. Basically where the front of the box is sitting is almost where the back of it was sitting when it was all the way up to this little trim panel right here. So I'm actually going to leave this in and not touch this, so when the next box goes in I can just shove it forward until it hits up against this, and that'll put me right at the same B-pillar spot to where all my trim panels are still going to fit right and everything like that, and I just have to re-screw them into the new box. Well, so the box is basically out. You can see it there on the end of the tailgate. This is where it was. Ran into one issue, which was the 2x4s that I put around the front edge to secure the seal-off panels into. Well, my wheel wells are 49 inches wide. The box is 47 inches wide. We all know 2x4s are 1.5 inches wide, and one on each side. That was added after the box came in, so it slid in fine, and then I added 3 inches to the width. So then it wouldn't go out once I got to the wheel wells, which wasn't too big of a deal. Just got a pry bar and basically destroyed the right front edge of the box to get that one off to make it 48.5 to where it would go between the 49 width of wheel well. So starting to cut down the sheets. Here's going to be one of the tops and one of the sides. I'm just cutting them to half sheets right now, and then writing what each part of the sheet's going to be on it with the measurements. So when I get to it, I know which pieces are the same, what they are, everything like that. I don't have to kind of remeasure and hunt down what's what. Truck holds wood pretty good. It also kind of measures out perfectly that these are 97 inches long, and you can see where the bottom one is, so I've got probably another 10 inches past that, so I've probably got 106 inches from where the box sits to the tailgate, for whatever that's worth. Yeah, I got 5 sheets, should be all that it really takes, at least as far as my cut sheet goes, and then I'll have to get miscellaneous stuff later. So it's been a little bit pretty productive day, getting the baffle holes cut out. Don't want to cut out the PVC tubes because I don't have them on hand, and I would like to have a tangible, like accurate measurement. So that's what's going on there. Some of the cutouts, and then just a few of the tools I've been using, routers over there in the grass. But here's what most of the progress was. Down. So that's the baffle layout. You can see the 3 8-inch PVC ports, arrow ports, port tubes, whatever, at the rear. Then the subs are going to be staggered, and I'm probably going to start it off regular mounted and then inverted. And then, you know, who knows, I might go all regular mounted or all inverted, but I think the design is for 2 and 2 or all 4 inverted. So but other than that, that's the other stuff. So you got the front, which the baffle's going to rest on, sides and back, top and bottom, the front port, little pieces that'll extend in from the sides that'll actually sit there and there, and then this whole section will be open. And then I've got the parts that'll extend backwards to make it 3 inches deep. So I got a wild impulse to start putting the box together. Front's glued and screwed together. The 2 side pieces in the back are. Can't do anything with the baffles yet because I need the PVC, so I know what to cut the rear hole sizes to, and then I can, once I do that, then I can put the baffles together and put the baffle in. In the rear it's being held in, there's just a little crossbar that I measured out to the same height as the front, so it's resting on that. And then once the baffle goes in, put the front port in, and then that little piece right there, there's 4 of them, so they're double layered, will then meet up right here. So that's about how open the front port's going to be. Made a little bit of a cut error on this side. It's perfect on the other side, but you can see it sticks out a little bit, so I'll have to sand this in to about there, so just to get it back to how it's supposed to be, and then probably a little bit of body filler just to finish it out. So you can see the box is pretty much there, waiting on the PVC to be delivered today for the rear ports in the back. 3 8-inch ports. I'm probably going to buy one of those twist plugs for the center one, just to play with the rear tuning without messing with the actual tubes themselves. Front 2, might have said this is probably going to be regular mounted with the rear 2 inverted, and if it's not going to be that way, they're all going to be inverted. And they're sort of the front port pieces. They're not in yet. You can see none of this is glued in. The baffle isn't glued in. It's resting on a little crossbar that will basically auto level the rear of the box when I put it in. And then I'm actually going to drive some 3-inch screws down through here into this front piece, and then just hit it all the way around the edge on the outside. I finally dropped off the port. So what I did, I went to Big Ass Ports and essentially ordered pre-cut PVC to 23 inches, which is what I need mine to be. As far as getting them in here, I originally cut these holes to 8 1/4. I widened them out to 8 3/8, which is about exactly what these are. But even with that, they're basically hammer pressure fitted in to where they're not going to go anywhere, but they're also not glued in or anything like that. So this is the 1/2-inch piece of MDF I was using, which is about destroyed by now. So I went and got a piece of 3/4 inch and basically set it up on there, give it a little tap on each side, with a lot more force than that, and it slowly works its way down. So this is actually how the port's going to sit. There's 8 inches below the baffle, 12 3/4 inches above the baffle, 2 1/4 being the baffle, which gives you gives me my 23 inches. So I'm going to get back to putting these ports. So the current state of the box is getting Bondoed. This front edge was a little bit short, so I just filled this in. And then I put some Bondo just across the entire front for the sake of filling in some of this porous MDF edge. So when the paint goes on it, it won't want to suck it up as much. Same thing here. This was an open MDF edge. Same thing here, open MDF edge. And then also clean up this little joint right there. So this is going to be covered. That's going to be covered. That line's going to be covered. Same on this side because the trim panels are probably going to overlap till about here. I'm just going to screw them into the front of the box. That little 90-degree cover for the platform will butt up to this edge and cover that. So basically I just need this here, and this to look really nice, and then of course filled in the holes to where I put the really long screws through down into here. Didn't put too many, just because I didn't want to fill too many holes and deal with that, but there are 2 here, 3 here, 2 here. Put in the 2x4 brace here, put one in right there. That's probably where it needed to sit the most, just because of how thin that part of the baffle is, how close the subs are. And then just right here, because this is kind of the middle point of where this middle section would probably try and go up. Alright, so here's the box currently. Front's painted. Inside's going to be white. These braces aren't in yet because I want to put the rear brace in, load the rear subs, and put the front brace in. Got my wires sort of ran in there. Need to put down some more staples and zip ties so they don't bang around. Some ports in the back. Other brace is going to go right up in here. Still need to paint the inner top edge because the top went on after a lot of the paint work, just to make it easier to get to. But that's pretty much the box right now. So here's the last video for a while until it's playing. Let me go ahead and get in here. There's how the inside of the box looks. Got the 2 steel braces to the top. Overall, I think it looks pretty good, considering how old the subs are, and the magnets probably need to be polished, but I'm too lazy to do that right now. Was going to do it with the 4th order and never did. But I think it tidied up pretty well. I think it looks cool with the 2 regular mounted and the 2 inverted, to where you can kind of see the inside of the box without too much getting blocked off, and plus it'll help me gauge movement, being able to see the dust cap. So that was part of the reason for that. So that's pretty much it for now until it gets playing.